About 800 years ago, in the midst of a fierce storm, a mother and her two young children were hurrying through the mountains on the outskirts of Kyoto. The mother was carrying a nursing infant in her arms. At that time, the two major warrior factions, the Genji and the Heike, were fiercely fighting each other in various places. And the leader of the Genji, Minamoto no Yoshitomo, was finally defeated by the Heike. Yoshitomo's wife, Tokiwa, who still had three young children, Imewa, Asuwa, and Ushiwaka, tried to escape to a place beyond the reach of the Heike, but they were eventually discovered by Heike warriors and brought before their leader, Taira no Kiyomori. When Kiyomori learned that the young children were the offspring of Yoshitomo, he immediately ordered their execution. However, he was moved by Tokiwa's fervent plea to spare their lives. Instead, Kiyomori made a deal with Tokiwa. He would spare the children's lives, but in exchange, Imewa and Asuwa would have to become monks immediately, and Ushiwaka would have to join the temple when he turned 7. Years passed, and the time came for Ushiwaka to fulfill his promise to Kiyomori. Ushiwaka, you are already 7 years old. You must enter the temple and become a fine young priest, his mother said. Mother, and so, at just 7 years old, Ushiwaka had to say goodbye to his kind mother. When you're lonely, blow on this flute that your father treasured, she said. The temple where Ushiwaka was entrusted was Kurama Temple, located deep in the woods on the Kurama mountain. There, his rigorous life of training began. One day, while Ushiwaka was studying alone, a voice called out to him. Your Highness, who calls me? Asked Ushiwakamaru, looking around to see an unfamiliar beggar sitting nearby. Your Highness, it is a pleasure to meet you. I am Kamada Masachika, a traveling monk. Please listen well. You are the child of Minamoto no Yoshitomo, the supreme commander of the Genji clan who was defeated by the Heike clan. What? Me? Yes, I also served under Yoshitomo, who was killed by Kiyomori. You must avenge your father and punish the arrogant Heike clan. You must also restore the Minamoto clan to its former glory. Everything was completely new to Ushiwakamaru. He ran into the mountains and cried alone, for the weight of his destiny was too heavy for a young Ushiwakamaru to bear. A Tengu, details, was watching him. The Tengu jumped down from a tall tree and stood beside Ushiwakamaru. Get up, boy. A boy shouldn't cry forever. Come with me. Without waiting for an answer, the Tengu quickly disappeared. Where did he go? Ushiwakamaru wondered, looking at his sword leaning against a nearby tree. All right, I'll take care of that Tengu with this sword. As Ushiwakamaru walked through the woods with the sword, someone hit him on the head. Ouch! Who is it? As he looked back holding his head, he was hit again, and again. Ha ha ha! With that attitude, you won't be able to do anything with that sword. Come on, if you hesitate, you'll be hit again. Ushiwakamaru hastily picked up his sword and took a firm stance, focusing his gaze. Strange shadows flitted about, darting here and there. On closer inspection, he saw that he was surrounded by numerous Tengu. What do you want? Ushiwakamaru exclaimed, as the Tengu swooped in on him. Determined not to lose, he swung his sword, but he was struck from all sides, relentlessly. Frustrated, Ushiwakamaru began training in swordsmanship deep in the dark mountains. Right there, left there, run, jump, turn. Ushiwakamaru's swordsmanship rapidly improved under the guidance of the Tengu. Several days passed, and the moon shone brightly one night. Ushiwakamaru suddenly stopped the sharp sword of the Tengu and struck back fiercely with his own sword. I did it. I did it. I finally defeated the Tengu. Ushiwakamaru's swordsmanship had improved to the point where he was able to defeat the Tengu. From that day on, there was no Tengu that could match Ushiwakamaru. One day, the Tengu said to him, Young master, there is nothing more we can teach you. We hope you become a splendid samurai. The Tengu were also retainers of Yoshitomo, who thought of the Genji clan. Having trained in swordsmanship in the Kurama Mountains, Ushiwakamaru removed his disguise at the age of 15 and left Kurama Temple. Now we shift our attention to Kyoto. At that time, a mysterious monk named Keizo Benkei would appear every night, stealing the swords of passers-by with the goal of collecting 1,000 of them for a prayer. People were afraid of him. Tonight was the night when he would collect his 1,000th sword. The location was the Gojo Bridge. The sound of a muffled flute could be heard coming from somewhere. The person playing the flute was none other than Ushiwakamaru. "What are you, just a child? You have no business here," said Benkei. However, as soon as he saw the sword at Ushiwakamaru's waist, he exclaimed, "Ah, what a splendid sword! This sword is worthy of being the 1000th. Benkei lifted his Nijinata high and stood in front of Ushiwakamaru. "Hey, leave that sword and go." However, Ushiwakamaru slipped past Benkei and walked away. "What? All right then, try taking my Nijinata." Benkei swung his Nijinata, but Ushiwakamaru easily dodged it. Ushiwakamaru moved quickly and unpredictably, and Benkei could not keep up. Ushiwakamaru suddenly jumped up and threw an Oji fan in his hand. The fan hit Benkei's forehead, causing him to fall over. "I surrender." Even Benkei, the strong warrior, knelt down and apologized. From that moment on, Benkei became Ushiwakamaru's follower and served him faithfully. Ushiwakamaru later became Minamoto no Yashitsune and, together with his older brother Yoritomo, defeated the Taira clan in the Battle of Dan no Yura.